All my fantasy football friends out there. Welcome to the Multiple First Dynasty Football channel. Here today, we're going to be taking a look at the 2023 rookie class, as we have been for the last few weeks. It's what everyone's talking about, and we're here to do the same. Today, we're going to be doing a rookie mock draft. We're going to have a template landing spot mock that we're using, and of course, I'm always joined by my partner, Greg, the Velociraptor. What's going on, bro?
Howdy, man. Oh, this is like the last pretend. This is like the last pretend version before we get to all the real ones. My first draft kicks off at 9 a.m. on Saturday morning
Ooh,
before the 4:01 comes off the clock.
ooh, interesting. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, man, I'm Jones, and I'm trying to like push all my managers, all my commissioners right now. Yo, can we just start on Sunday or something? I got one or two of them that will, but yeah, man, some of them aren't even scheduled yet. I'm trying to get on these people. Get on it, man. Get your dues paid. Get your draft scheduled. Let's go. It's an event. That's what we live for. It's what we do. It's, yeah, so we're using a CBS Sports mock draft from Josh Edwards. To be honest with you, I'm not here to vouch for him as a draft analyst, but we just picked a commonly looked at mock, something you might have Googled and looked up. And Greg and I are going to draft off these landing spots here today. I'll be referencing back and forth here, and I'll try to put a profile together in the comment section below of what to expect from or what all the landing spots looked like. So this is a 7-round mock draft, and this is a 7-round NFL mock that we're going to break down into a 3-round rookie draft. So for our rookie draft today, yeah, go ahead.
Can we go ahead and make sure that this is linear? And also, we're going to do 3 rounds, but let's make sure each team is different. Like, I'm not going to pick at 4 based on what I did at 2. We'll just go back and forth, but we'll treat each team like its own individual thing. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Then we're just going to go on and off. I'm going to get the odds. Greg's got the evens. So for the settings for this is you can assume a dynasty, superflex, a wide roster, probably like a 10 start with 3 starting wide receivers and a tight end with tight end premium. I'll be looking at this from a single tight end perspective. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
That sounds
single
good.
tight end premium, superflex.
Yeah, with like a 3 wide, 2 RB, multiple flex, something that you see very commonly if you jump into a startup right now. But let's not mess around. Let's kick things off here. So let's take a quick glance at the rookie draft from the CBS Sports, just so we kind of have an idea of what we're looking at. You got Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud going 1 and 2. I think we consensus Young going to Carolina. We got Levis and Richardson, but Mr. Bijan Robinson, the dude everybody likes, he falls in the CBS Sports mock to the Chargers at pick 21. I mean, obviously phenomenal landing spot. I don't care that Eckler's there or won't be. But that's an easy slam dunk 101 for me. I'm going to take Bijan, running back from Texas.
Very good. And I will then go ahead and take my number 1 quarterback. I'm going to go with Seattle Seahawk quarterback Anthony Richardson, the 4th quarterback off the board. But for me, on top 5 draft capital, I'm going to take the guy who has a chance to break fantasy football.
Yeah, and he totally could, which is super interesting. So I'm up in the 3 spot. I would have taken Richardson at 2, same. But number 3, I'm going to take just the first overall pick in the NFL draft. I'm going to take Bryce Young. There's not enough of a gap between Young and Stroud for me where I'm going to take Stroud over him. Young just seems so safe. First overall pick. I love it. He's got some mobility upside. I wouldn't say rushing upside, but he's going to get some first down runs in there. Bryce Young, quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. Don't know what the total upside looks like in Carolina, but I'm willing to take that shot here at 3.
Hey, so if I'm coming onto the clock with the 104 in a super flex league and I'm getting to take a guy who was the consensus quarterback 1 3 weeks ago, and now he's going 102, I'm loving it. I'm going to take C.J. Stroud. I know people don't love the Houston landing spot for any of these quarterbacks, but I can't pass on. I'm thrilled to get him at 4.
Yeah, any of these like character concerns and things were coming out? Does that rattle for you at all, or
no?
I mean, no, I don't think so either.
Certainly not if he goes second.
Yep. So, I think this is where you're going to start seeing some discrepancy across, different people's opinions. Will Levis is a pretty polarizing quarterback prospect. We also have a Jackson Smith-Njigba, who in this draft goes to the Green Bay Packers. Really interesting there. He's the first wide receiver off the board. And then Jahmyr Gibbs is someone who's in consideration also. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to take Will Levis right here. I'm not going to mess around at all. I do like JSN a lot. That's a fine landing spot for him, but I would do this in the real times in my 105s. If Levis is there, I'm going to take him right here and secure that quarterback because it's super flex, and I'm willing to take these shots on guys with top 5 capital.
Sure. And so Jackson Smith-Njigba goes to Green Bay with the 15th pick. This makes me very sad because I stand Christian Watson. But I'm going to take him here at 6. I think it's a good enough landing spot for him. Makes me sad for Christian Watson. Love it for Jordan Love. And love that top half of the first round capital for a guy of this quality. By the way, I really think this shows how some of these middle of the first picks are undervalued.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Jackson Smith-Njigba is an amazingly good prospect to be getting, profile to be getting at the 106.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree. And I've been clinging to my middle first, clinging to them for life as people send me trade offers for them and stuff. I mean, if you can go and acquire one of these 6, 7, 8 picks for a reasonable price, definitely explore that in your leagues. But I love JSN there. That's a tremendous value for you at 6. I'm back up at number 7 here. I'm going to go ahead and move on Jahmyr Gibbs, running back from Alabama. He's getting 33rd pick off the board, draft capital. We've seen players like Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Javonte Williams all go in that that region of the draft and be very successful. I love the profile on Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's going to come in there and be the immediate pass catching option and ultimately the every down option over Dameon Pierce. Not really worried about Pierce at all, and I'm going to lock in Jahmyr Gibbs in the 7 slot.
Yeah, no, I think that's smart. So here's where things get weird.
Oh, yeah.
So based on our mock draft, I'm looking at only 2 wide receivers went in the first round. And I didn't love the landing spot for the second wide receiver, which was Quentin Johnston to the Ravens, which is not a great passing offense. There's Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
That's another interesting name.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm going to go all the way down to pick 58 and take the running back 3 off the board. Roschon Johnson from Texas going to the Cowboys at the tail end of round 3. If he is the only other round 2 back and he goes to a place like this where he's obviously going to be the short yardage part of a committee in year 1 and handed the job in year 2 in a good offense with a good quarterback, I'm in. I'm all in.
All in, baby. Yeah, I love that. I think you're making a smart decision there. I probably would have taken him at 8 as well. Dallas is an awesome landing spot. Coming back to Mr. Stosh, your host here at the 9 selection. A lot more flexibility in this area of the draft. I'm just going to take someone who is just like one of my favorite prospects in the whole draft. I really want Dalton Kincaid. I don't know if it's smart though. The other guy that's on my mind is Charbonnet, who gets third round capital here to the Rams. So that was kind of my decision. I don't think Johnson as a Raven is in play for me right now. And then who's even the next wide receiver? Jalen Hyatt going to the Lions. You got Zay Flowers on the Colts. I mean, those are interesting. Jordan Addison to the Falcons. Okay. I'm going to go with my gut. I'm not going to take the tight end. I'm going to take the running back. Give me Zach Charbonnet, who is a LA Ram in our mock here. I think the upside speaks for itself there.
Yeah, I mean, there are things I like about Zach Charbonnet there. Was he the only running back who went in round 3?
The only one. So he's kind of in a tier by himself there.
So Roschon and Charbonnet are the only day 2, and Gibbs are the only day 2 backs, right? So those 3 go all in a row in this mock that we're doing, and I think that's like very interesting and also unfortunate for me here sitting at 10. I don't like any of those things, but at the same time, I'm going to pivot back to those first round quarterbacks and take Hendon Hooker.
There you go.
And feel really good about what I got at 10. Getting I guess, what looks like the heir apparent to be Justin Jefferson's quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Yeah, and T.J. Hawkinson's quarterback. Assuming they extend him, remains to be seen how that develops.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So
I love that hooker there. Yeah, if he gets this top 25 capital, you're gonna have to use a first round pick to get a hold of this guy. He's been rising very aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I love that pick. I love that value there to get a player who could be a starter by the end of the season in Hendon Hooker. I mean, if Cousins plays bad, they're probably not going to hesitate to put him in there. Boy, this gets weird now. I'm going to go with the player I passed on last time. I'm going to take the just strictly pass catcher for pass catcher. I really don't want one of these receivers here. I mean, Flowers is probably the most attractive to me, but I'm going to take Dalton Kincaid because I refuse to leave this mock draft without him. As a Buffalo Bill, it's a fantastic landing spot. He's going to immediately bury Dawson Knox on the depth chart and be this team's starting tight end off the rip, I would imagine. So I'll take the first tight end off the board at 11 in Kincaid and feel great about it.
Yeah, I love the prospect. I don't love taking tight ends at that spot.
Sure.
If I can get away with it. So for me here, to close out round one, I'm going to take Quentin Johnston. I don't love the landing spot. I do love the draft capital, and I mean, like who knows? We could get to week one, and they're looking for a new quarterback next year, and it's a whole different pocket passing offense, right? Like who knows? So like landing spots are ephemera, right? Mm-hmm. They are dust in the wind, right? Whereas draft capital is you get it, and then that's what you are, right? This is the 22nd pick in the draft according to this, and that's about where Rashad Bateman went.
That's what I was just thinking. Yeah,
he could completely take over that number one job as soon. So I think you, even though he's a risky prospect and some people are averse to him, I think you have to be willing to be in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good value for that spot to get a top 15 or top second wide receiver off the board, top 22 pick, right there, 12. I love that for you. Man, challenging from here. So Jordan Addison jumps out to me. I hate him in Atlanta though. That sucks. Zay Flowers with Levis running the offense now. I mean, they have two wide receivers that are ahead of him. I like Alec Pierce. Boy, this is just rough. The next running back in consideration would be someone who got round 4 capital. I mean, the next RB off the board was like Zach Evans to the Giants or Tanks Bigsby to Jacksonville. I don't like any of these landing spots for these RBs. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to go with the guy who I think is just an elite football player and has a production profile. I'm going to take Jordan Addison, Atlanta Falcon here at the 2.1. Yeah, I'm not in love with the pick there, but I think you're making the most out of what's remaining.
Yeah, so I think Zay Flowers for me here is a pretty obvious option.
Yeah.
He went, what was it, 35th overall to the Colts, which is a spot where he's got every opportunity to surpass Alec Pierce on the depth chart soon. Mm-hmm. They still have to extend Michael Pittman. Maybe they won't. So much to like about that landing spot. And just the other thing I want to say is I have long thought that the picks in that 32 to 40 range are like the supplemental first round, and they carry a higher amount of cachet to me than picks the rest of the second round.
Yeah.
The hit rate in that like just post first round part of the second round is much better across a number of positions.
Yeah, absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree with you there. Man, there's just not a lot that I want to take shots on here. Boy, I don't know. I think the pick's a receiver in this position. I still think there's enough capital spent on receivers where that's where you should be considering. I think Michael Mayer is probably in play at this point in the draft. Yeah, I mean, with Jameson Williams' recent suspension, I don't know if that bumps up the Detroit receiver in Jalen Hyatt. What do you do? Yeah, I'm gonna take. I don't know. I'm gonna take Tyler Scott from Chargers. That's a player we've talked about a couple times. He's probably a tier lower than these guys, but I'm gonna take a shot on the landing spot of the Chargers here.
Yeah, no, I get that. So
Interesting player for sure. I don't know.
yeah,
He's just not in the same tier as some of these like Downs and
I love that
Mayer.
landing spot
Yeah.
though, and
I,
I love the capital. So for me, this is pretty easy. I'm going to take. I hate the landing spot, but I love the player. I'm going to take Marvin Mims,
mhm.
and I'm going to hope that what happens here is he went 62nd to the Eagles. I'm hoping that what happens here is over the next year, Devonta Smith gets traded for draft capital
Yeah.
because they can't pay him,
Mhm.
and Marvin Mims gets this job.
Yeah. Explosive upside in that offense. Certainly. I
That
mean,
that, that is the bet I am making there.
interesting. I love it. I do. I like that pick for you a lot. Man, there's all kinds of interesting choices. When do these running backs start really coming back in play, and then how do you sort them out? So there's a big run on running back in the second half of the fourth round, and at this point in a rookie draft, this is where the cost to the upside kind of meets, you know, kind of marries itself. I really like this Kendre Miller to the Ravens. This keeps standing out to me as I review things. So I'm going to go ahead and take him here. Kendre Miller's an interesting player, and the Ravens need that running backs. Even with a healthy Dobbins, I think there's a lot of run here for another running back. So Kendre Miller at the 2-5.
Yeah. So interesting, interesting, interesting. So I don't love this mock. There are a lot of things that we're
This thing
working
is
on.
smoked up. Yeah, this is
There
rough.
are a lot of things we're working on. So, but this is a lot of the running backs fell, right?
Yeah,
And so
they did.
that's yeah, and so that's very interesting. Um, I think here I am probably going to choose a guy who yeah, you know what? I'm just going to take Michael Mayer
Yeah,
and feel like I got a good value
you
in a
did.
tight end premium.
Yeah, you did. This is a really safe spot to get him. A lot of upside for that player, a lot of security.
Yep.
Spend your 2.6 and get the security he offers. I think you're doing really, really well. So yeah, definitely good pick there. That's probably what I would have done too in your spot. All right, things are looking weird. So there's still some second round wide receivers on the board. We have Jalen Hyatt to the Lions is top 50 capital in this mock. Then we got you already picked Marvin Mims. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to let the capital dictate my pick here as far as the way the tiers are breaking apart here, and I'm going to go and take Jalen Hyatt, wide receiver from Tennessee.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense. And I think I'm going to, let me see. I think I will have a look at my guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and take Sam Laporta on top 50 draft capital.
There you go. Yeah.
In the tight end premium, going to the Patriots, you might have to sit a year, but they're going to let Hunter Henry go if they make this pick. And this is a spot where I feel good about that pick.
Yeah, you can't complain about that landing spot. New England's a tight end heavy offense. Mac's going to lean on it. Belichick keeps his tight ends open. I like that. If they invest in him, that's interesting. All right, this thing gets so crummy. I'm not going to think too much about this. Josh Downs, top 50 capital to Seattle. A clear potential opening developing with Tyler Lockett. Kind of, I don't even know his contract situation, but I feel like he's near the end of it. But Josh Downs in what has been a proven offense to continuously put out productive wide receivers year in and year out under Pete Carroll. To get that at 2.9, I feel great about it.
Yeah, no, that makes perfectly good sense. I'm going to have to go with a wide receiver here
Yeah.
who I think has a very good chance of playing a lot with this landing spot in Capital.
Mhm.
At 66 overall, top of the third round, Cedric Tillman goes to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, they are going to be two Smurfs when Hopkins goes, and I think he will go on draft day. They're going to be two Smurfs and Tillman, and they're going to throw the ball a lot. And I think I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there. My next pick is, we saw on the mock here. I think it's in the third round. Keishon Boutte goes to the Vikings. That's what I'm looking at right here. Clear opening at wide receiver there for the Vikings as wide receiver 2. If Dalvin Cook goes away, that means they're only going to be throwing the ball more frequently. Still hate these running back landing spots in the bottom in the fourth here. So I just don't want to mess with most of them. I took the only guy who I really like out of that grouping right now.
Yep.
So give me Keishon Boutte to the Vikings. If the Vikings, I want to take a shot on him and see the upside, then I am too. 211 Boutte.
And then I guess we'll close it out with Darnell Washington.
Okay, yep. One running back goes in the second round.
This is crazy.
There's no way this ever happens.
Well, no.
It's so interesting.
This absolutely could happen, right?
You think?
So this is what you do.
Yeah.
This is what you do if the NFL decides to fade running back because they think there are too many. There's so many good ones.
Yep. It just feels awkward because we've talked about how kind of on the low end this wide receiver class is. So to populate the whole second round with them, that's what it is. No?
That's where it is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Where did Washington go here? Where did he land?
He went to the Dolphins at 51.
Dolphins at 51. Yeah, that's a good pick.
So he's the immediate starter.
Mm-hmm.
He's the immediate starter.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah. I love that.
So he's not going to lose his job to Durham Smythe.
No, not at all. Yeah, man. So not a lot of juice here. Man, A.T. Perry to the Chiefs. That's super interesting. They just have this this glut of wide receivers there. Someone has to emerge, and honestly, my overall money would not be on the rookie in that scenario. Tank Dell to the Bills.
Musgrave to the Browns.
Yeah, my Brownies he's gonna play second fiddle to Njoku.
There is
tough.
Jonathan Mingo to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
See, man, he's talking about being boxed in by two guys.
Mm-hmm. Abanikanda to the Bears might be
in the fifth round.
There. Yeah, you start really pushing it down there. Boy, I don't know what I should do here. Yeah, I don't know. I have Kenneth Walker on like almost all my teams, so I would take Dwayne McBride here and as a third round pick to handcuff your running back and also get someone who may have some standalone value. Give me McBride as a heavy Walker owner.
Yeah, so right here, I'm going to take a guy I don't like.
Yeah,
who
I bet you are.
Who I did like the landing spot.
Okay.
And that's Devin Achane.
Yeah.
So the Falcons may be the one place where I think there's enough volume for him to be the B back, the 1B back, and still be a regular starter for you.
Mm-hmm.
And he got the very high fourth round capital, which has been pretty decent at running back. So I think we'll live with that.
I love that. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I don't know if I love it, but it's good. Man, Mingo to the Dolphins, that's jumping out at me right now. Luke Musgrave to the Browns, certainly. Tough. I think we've cleaned out round 2, right? Yeah, no round 2 players left. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to keep leading into landing spot. I'm going to take this Davis Allen to the Bengals. I mean, a guy who's basically off the radar at tight end right now. But, you let Capital decide. You love the landing spot. You hope he's going to come in there and start right away.
If you wanted to play that game, I'd rather you take Brenton Strange to the Lions at 81.
You think so?
I think there's a better chance he's the starter there than.
Yeah, and I mean, is Irv Smith the starting tight end for the Bengals this year?
Yeah.
You think he is? Okay. All right. Well,
you do what you want.
Yeah.
No, it's your pick. You already.
No, I already took it. I'm going to put it in.
Take Davis Allen.
No, I'm taking it. I want it. I want Joe Burrow's tight end.
Okay.
He's going to score a lot of touchdowns.
Yeah. To take. I'm looking at these fourth round running backs here.
Yeah.
And I'm asking myself, who has a starting running back ahead of them whose job they could take?
I mean, Evans is got some upside, I think, with the whole Saquon
My
contract
answer
situation.
is Tyjae Spears.
All right.
Like the Commanders have two running backs who are solid, but nothing all that interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, so if Tyjae Spears is better than we think, translates really well, then that's right there. That's my guy.
There you go. I like it. And things still just are not getting any better. Yeah, what do we want to do here? Musgrave's got a lot of upside, and the Browns will use two tight ends.
Mm-hmm.
There's an elite quarterback there. Yeah, I'm going to keep leaning into tight end and take Musgrave here. Just the athletic profile, it all lines up. So.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very good pick. And so I'm now going to go with Zach Evans.
Yeah.
That was my next thought. Is like if we've got a starting running back on a 1-year deal, let's go ahead and grab that high upside backup.
Certainly. Yeah, I love it. We'll keep these moving along. That A.T. Perry on the Chiefs probably isn't going to sit around so long in your rookie drafts. I mean, just the Mahomesosphere means this player has to be worth at least this much with fourth-round capital, right? He went in the fourth round, right? Yeah. So A.T. Perry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. So I think I'm gonna go take my guy.
Yeah.
Izzy Abanikanda.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any reason why Izzy can't just take that job from Khalil Herbert. I mean, it's three guys I like there now, but in that scenario,
well, that's what you got to do in this area of the draft. Is you kind of just got to get your guys. Once you start getting outside the top 30 or so, that's where you just get the dudes you believe in and have some capital to support your decision, right?
Exactly.
Tanks Bigsby sitting here, running back from Auburn, hasn't been picked yet. He's got the highest capital of any remaining running back. ETN has dealt with injury history in the past, and beyond that, there's not a lot of depth. I mean, they brought in, Ernest Johnson. I mean, whatever. Bigsby could work himself into a role here. So somebody could be my pick.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
There's good picks in out there still. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not, actually.
No, I mean there's some interesting stuff. So I am going to take Rashee Rice.
Yeah, where does he land here?
He lands to the Bears in the 4th.
Okay.
There's a gettable depth chart.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Boop-a-doop. Rashee Rice. There we go. All right, so 310. All right, your boy's back up with the 311 selection. There's a player I'm not going to leave the draft without if this were to happen. So while this is probably more likely a fourth-round pick, I'm going to take. Where's he at? Yo. Yeah, Zach Kuntz gets drafted by the Chargers, and I'm in on it. I want it for the same reason I took Allen earlier. I mean, I want the elite quarterbacks tight end, especially when there's a path to the field for that player. So, I'm kind of ignoring capital here, and it's certainly hard to find a hit at tight end outside, in day 3. But, I'm going to continue to take all the darts I can at the Chargers tight end until we find the one that hits, because that's going to be a very relevant player.
Yep, and I am gonna take a guy who. So there have been some rumors.
Yeah.
About. No, I can't do it. I was gonna take it. I was gonna reach all the way down to the 7th round. I can't go that far outside of draft capital.
Get it.
Oh.
Who you got?
Oh.
It's a 312, man. It's basically free.
Yeah. No. Okay. So, in the name of podcast consistency and all of that, I'm going to go ahead here at the back half I'm going to go ahead and take Andre Yoshivas.
Yeah, I was looking at him too. The Saints. Yep.
I like that Saints landing spot.
Yeah.
I like that Saints landing spot. That's it. I like the Saints landing spot. I don't know what else to say. I think he's a good player, and that is all the opportunity you need. The guy I was seriously considering there was Sean Tucker, who went in the 7th round. I assume because there have been some injury rumors around him.
Yep, it could be it. You got the Niners took a shot on that receiver tight end prospect. What was his name? Elijah Higgins. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's interesting there. Deuce Vaughn to the Dolphins is an interesting player. Probably maybe should have been drafted. Dorian Thompson-Robinson to the Browns. If I'm a Deshaun Watson owner, I'm definitely going to be trying to get a hold of that.
Eric Gray to the Raiders has a chance to beat out Zamir White for that backup job.
Absolutely. He probably will as soon as he's drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else we really like here that we're not drafting?
Trey Palmer at the very top of the 5th.
Yep.
In our last episode, we mentioned Luke Schoonmaker to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
That's it with 9. Remember, 90 was our cutoff on draft capital, and he went exactly 90.
Yeah.
So there's some interesting. Those are some interesting names. They're still out there. So I don't think this went great. This mock went great for our fantasy.
Yeah.
Because the running backs faded.
Yeah.
But you still got amazing value through the first round. And there's value left on the board in the 4th round.
Yeah, there is. It's going to be such an interesting draft. It's so weird that this broke out this way. I mean, with only one running back going in the 2nd round, that's just, and then all these tight ends creeping up in here. This Allen pick was terrible, and I regret it. So, just so you
should. I mean, Luke Musgrave was literally sitting right there.
Yeah, he's a better prospect. Athleticism plus quarterback, right? That's what we're always looking at.
You got two interested in landing spot.
Yeah.
Landing spot is a trap, my friend.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Especially at tight end. The only place landing spot is not a trap is running back.
True.
We saw that with the Algier and all that stuff. But,
there you go, man. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know who you think won the mock draft. Leave me a comment. Leave it a Stosh or a Velociraptor.
There we go.
Thanks for joining us, guys. I appreciate you. NFL draft is going to be here before you know it. Probably only a day or two if you're watching this video. So let's get after it, baby. Anything to say to our viewers here?
No, that's it. Happy drafting, everybody. I'll be on the clock Saturday morning at 9 a.m. with my first Bijan share. And I guess the next time you hear from us will be maybe we'll put out one final show where we do our final tiers, and then that'll be it, huh?
Yeah, sounds good. All right,
Draft
appreciate you tuning in.
time.
Let's go, baby. I'll see you Thursday night. Later.